Lost media is something I've always been interested in. It's even gotten to the point where I'm now trying to incorporate it more on my channel. And after spending hours searching through the depths of the internet, I found quite a bit of dinosaur related lost media. Some of these are already pretty well known within the dinosaur community, but there are others that are quite obscure and ones that I, and probably others, haven't heard of. And as some of you probably already know, I am a gamer. So when I found out that one of these lost pieces of media was from the Carnivores Dinosaur Hunter game, I knew I had to cover it. Now I never really actually got a chance to play the original 1998 version of Carnivores Dinosaur Hunter until recently, mainly because that game was just before my time and I wasn't much of a gamer as a kid. So I didn't even really know of its existence until I turned 12 and got my first 4th generation iPod and downloaded the mobile version of the game, which was released in 2010. But that didn't stop me from getting the Carnivores experience, and man did I have some good times with this game. I still have old playthroughs of it from a few years back when I first started the channel. Now I expect most of you to be familiar with Carnivores Dinosaur Hunter, since a lot of you seem to have nostalgic ties with these old school dinosaur games. But if you aren't, don't worry, I've got the man for the job. I simply could not do a Carnivores Dinosaur Hunter video without including the one person who knows more about the Carnivores franchise than anyone I've ever seen. So, Saurian Target, take it away.
Carnivores is a first-person hunting simulator game that was released on November 30th, 1998. It was developed by Action Forms and published by Wizardworks, who wanted this game to have a different feel from another successful title they had published the year before, called Deer Hunter. And they succeeded in that by not only allowing you to hunt dinosaurs instead of deer, but also allowing the dinosaurs to hunt you as well, giving the game a much more intense hunting experience. The original roster of dinosaurs included Parasaurolophus, Pachycephalosaurus, Stegosaurus, Allosaurus, Triceratops, Velociraptor, and, of course, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. There's also an assortment of regions that contain special locations and man-made structures that have small backstories to them. The one that we are going to be focusing on today is Fort Ciskin, which is a structure that can be found in the second region in both Carnivores 2 and Carnivores Dinosaur Hunter games. This now abandoned fort contains small huts that are good for hiding in, and a wall that surrounds the area, which was meant to keep the inhabitants safe from the dinosaurs. But this proved to be useless, because if you go to visit the fort now, you'll see certain parts of the wall destroyed, possibly from the larger predators like the Tyrannosaurus, which would explain why the fort is now abandoned. Spots like these make the game more interesting to explore. And with its overall success, it was only natural that Carnivores and its sequel, Carnivores 2, would eventually be brought back to mobile devices as a way to introduce a whole new generation to it. Not only was it released for iOS, but it was also released on the PSP, which would probably explain why this piece of Lost Carnivores media is so obscure, since the PSP itself is often overlooked when it comes to gaming platforms. But nonetheless, there were some that were able to gain the Carnivores experience through this version of the game.
So now that we have the context as to what Carnivores is and why it was re-released for the PSP, let's go over why both of these are significant for today's topic. As mentioned earlier, I recently found out about some lost media in regards to this game, and this lost piece of media comes in the form of a lost cutscene on the PSP version of Carnivores 2. And just in case you don't know, Carnivores 2 is similar in almost every aspect to its first game, but just has more dinosaurs, regions, and weapons among other things, but that's not too important to know right now. The thing is, in both of these games, it seems very out of place for them to even have a cutscene. Cutscenes would typically be used as intermission between gameplay and used as a way to continue the story of said game. And if you're at all familiar with Carnivores, even though it has lore and a little bit of story to it, it doesn't really have an in-game story. So there wouldn't really be a need for a cutscene in the game. But in my search to find out more about this lost cutscene, I ran into a site written by someone who claims to have seen this lost cutscene for himself, possibly someone who is a part of the re-release of this game to the PSP. And I say that because he goes into detail of what the content within the cutscenes are. And what this cutscene contained makes me think that it wasn't supposed to be used as an intermission between gameplay or as a way to progress a story. You'll see what I mean here in a second, but let's get into what this cutscene supposedly contained.
This person, who goes by Logan, explains the process leading up to the cutscene from his perspective playing the game. He said that he started hunting around the Fort Ciskin area, then mentioned that he heard some strange voices, similar to the ones you would hear in the ancient temple region from the first game. Only problem was, this was a port of Carnivores 2, while the original Carnivores had the ancient temple region that would feature these strange noises when approaching the temple structure. Whether this was an intentional addition for the game or not is unknown, but based on his description, it didn't seem like the voices started talking until he reached the Fort Ciskin area. But once he stepped foot inside the fort, that's when his screen faded to black and the cutscene played out. With the game's normal but dated graphics, the cutscene shows a group of men, all armed with guns, gathered around the main gate of the fort. Something was trying to break through the gate, as it attempted to smash through it from the other side. Soon, whatever was trying to break in lets out a familiar roar, revealing it to be a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Eventually, it breaks through the gates and begins attacking the group of men, who respond by shooting the dinosaur, to no avail. They attempt to retreat, but there is no escape, and as a result, some of the men get trampled by the Tyrannosaurus, while others get devoured. As graphic as this sounds, Logan says that, in terms of violence, there wasn't anything in the actual scene that you wouldn't see in normal games, and actually describes the scene as pixelated and even a bit silly. The scene finishes with the camera panning away from the violence and back onto the front gates, which are now open, revealing a dark figure at the entryway. But then, Logan's character suddenly gets killed by a raptor, completely ending the cutscene.
So yeah, a very strange and interesting cutscene, and obviously, I have many questions. It seems that this cutscene only came in the PSP version of the game, at least according to the story. But why just the PSP? Was it supposed to be an Easter egg exclusive to the PSP port of the game? Or was it originally going to be a part of all of the re-releases and was just simply tested on the PSP? And who is Logan supposed to be? Was he someone who helped out with the development of the game itself and that's how he even knows about the cutscene to begin with? The only reason why I would think this is a possibility is because I haven't found anyone else talking about this cutscene besides some random posts about it here and there around the internet. Maybe that's because the cutscene was never released and the only person that would know about its existence is someone who is actually a part of its development process. But then there's the bigger question. What was even the purpose of the cutscene? I mentioned earlier that this was probably an Easter egg, but could it have been more than just an Easter egg? Maybe this cutscene played a bigger role in the lore behind Fort Ciskin? Which actually leads me to an interesting theory that I have about the locations and man-made structures placed around the regions in the game. The fort itself is now abandoned, but the way the cutscene is played out, it seems that its purpose was to show the player the events that led up to the fort being abandoned. And this may indicate that maybe the developers were trying to incorporate cutscenes within all of the secret locations within the game to give the player a visual backstory of those locations, but only ever got as far as Fort Ciskin before eventually scrapping the idea. Or maybe there have been more of these cutscenes out there somewhere and we just don't know about it. And there's no doubt going to be even more speculation about this topic in the comments below, but after reading up on all of the information we have in regards to this cutscene and providing you guys with my personal thoughts on it, there is one more thing I would like to add. April Fools. Yeah, I was just messing with you guys. There's no such thing as a Lost Carnivores cutscene. Yeah, this was a whole prank made into one entire video. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I got the idea to make this video from a Carnivores creepypasta that I found a few months ago. I wanted to tell the same story from the creepypasta, but there were a lot of elements from that story that I decided not to use, because it would have been a dead giveaway that this video was fake, given that this video wasn't already obvious to some people, because hey, maybe some of you saw right through the lie and good on you for that. You shouldn't believe everything you see on the internet. Anyways, in the original creepypasta, Logan was an 18-year-old college student that decided to replay his childhood dinosaur game by playing playing its PSP port, and as he's hunting in the Fort Ciskin area, he notices a dark human-sized figure and follows it into the fort, where he sees the cutscene play out pretty much exactly how it was described in this video. And after the cutscene finishes and Logan gets killed by the raptor, he gets nightmares the following night. I'm kind of leaving quite a bit out of the story, so if you guys just want to read it for yourself, you could go ahead and check out the links for it in the description down below. But yeah, obviously I had to make some changes to the story because a random college student stumbling upon something like this and being the only one to ever witness it seems very unlikely to me. And on top of that, the story may or may not have had a paranormal aspect to it. So yeah, that makes this all even more unrealistic, so I decided to change Logan's character to someone more ambiguous and get rid of that possible paranormal aspect entirely, among other things. Just check out the creepypasta and see for yourself. I'm too lazy to explain it all. And like I said earlier, some of you probably already called that this was fake, and if you did, good on you. If you didn't, hi, you got pranked. If you're an older viewer, then you probably know that I like partaking in the April Fool's tradition of pranking people. So much so, I've found ways to incorporate it on my channel. And of course, with this new influx of viewers and subscribers, I had to seize the opportunity of at least trying to prank some of you this year by making you think this was a real piece of lost media. And if it worked, great, and if it didn't, oh well, it's still a pretty funny video. Hey, welcome back to Diego Doesn't Know How to End a Video Properly, so he just awkwardly transitions to an end segment. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was really fun to put together, and it would have been cool if this was an actual thing, but I did want to do this fun little April Fool's video. Not really trying to take anything too seriously here, just wanted to do something different. Something that wasn't, as research intensive as my other videos have been, so this was kind of like a nice little break from that. And just a chance for me to do something fun and silly, and I'm really happy that I was able to get Saurian Target on board to help me out with this video, so huge thanks to him for helping me with some of the voice lines in this video. Chances are, if you're a huge Carnivores fan and you don't live under a rock, then you are fully aware of who Saurian Target is, and in case you aren't, Saurian Target is literally all about Carnivores. His content revolves around that franchise, so if you're interested in that kind of stuff, definitely go check his channel out. The link to his channel will be in the description down below if you guys want to check him out. And once again, thank you so much, Saurian Target, for your help. It's much appreciated. I'm really glad that I was able to have you on this video. Oh, and don't worry guys, this was just a one-time thing. It's not like I'm gonna stick with these clickbaity joke videos. This is not gonna be a regular thing. This was just me wanting to celebrate April Fools a little bit and just kind of take a break from the hours of research that I usually have to do for these videos, because this video really didn't take all that much research to do, so it was just a fun little thing for me to do temporarily, just this one time. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then leave a like and subscribe for more, and that's pretty much all I have to say for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please have a nice day.